bad habits and the dopamine gerbil wheel. It's all about the habits and recognizing that we are basically dopamine machines, and stripping away most all of the sources of dopamine, apart from the dopamine you receive from the work you do towards fulfilling your purpose. It should become the only dopamine you basically get. I think it's best to view it as a season and not a lifetime. A season of extreme focus and hard work. I mean, if you want to achieve a dream. The concept of supposed balance here is a faulty one when you need to dedicate most of your resources of time and energy into a singular direction. Pretend you are embarking on a trip to the land of your dreams. You wouldn't stop and pitch a tent every few hours. You would make the decision to go, and then you would keep it moving. Maybe it's a sloppy analogy, but it works. You're not traveling forever. You're getting somewhere. And so that same kind of singular focus needs to be applied to whatever your objectives are. And speed is helpful. It's both a hedge against perfectionism and the nature of success, some might say. Intensity and speed, over balance and overthinking. Because it's not a life plan. It's a plan about fulfilling an objective or a goal. And once you arrive at where you are going, you can reevaluate the structures you've created to get there. What are your dopamine triggers? Dopamine is the fuel in the engine getting you to where you're going, for better or for worse. And practices and behaviors that spike dopamine intensely that have nothing to do with achieving your vision, I guess, need to be eliminated. You should set up a life plan that only rewards progress in your chosen direction, if there's a direction you want to go in. Sobriety and stoicism come to mind. And things like porn, drugs, alcohol, and constant engagement from TV and social media need to be eliminated. In the realm of social media, output is okay, but input will probably only slow you down. Porn spikes dopamine intensely and essentially empties your engines for the journey ahead. You working on a piece of writing or a business plan won't trigger the function of dopamine hardly at all compared to taking in pornography or behavior that spikes pleasure centers off the roof. So it becomes a game of relativism. You have to create a reality so stark that writing or work towards your dream triggers a response that can be felt from your dopamine reserves. This is how you game the system and coax productivity out of yourself. Nikola Tesla was famous for practicing retention of his seed in the service of his inventions. There are many lazy triggers for dopamine, but sex and all the behaviors around it are the clearest examples of shifting energy towards what you actually want to obtain. Sex is what creates life, and if you give those energies no outlet, that creative force won't stop, but will divert itself towards the direction of your dreams. Society pushes you to simply spill and waste that energy every chance you get. It's socially acceptable to do that, and the opposite approach is seen as weird or even extreme, but we are complicated machines, and with thought and foresight, we can leverage those powerful energies towards a single point of focus. Dopamine is a need. We require it daily, so the system that you are will apply it elsewhere if you don't give it an easy out. Think of a junkie who is addicted to opioids and how useless they become in a stupor. Because why should they move at all if an injection is wringing their pleasure systems off the hook? They couldn't move if they wanted to towards a complex vision that remains out of reach. But if you eliminate all other activity aside from what is getting you closer to the fulfillment you seek, dopamine will simply divert itself and become outsized levels of motivation towards achieving what you actually want. When you're on the road traveling in the direction of your dreams, you will need breaks, of course, here and there, and periods of unwinding and rest, but they should be few and far between. And there should be a total avoidance from activities that spike dopamine intensely, because after intense spikes, it's difficult to reset the engine of dopamine to work for you rather than against you. You are engaging in a game with a desired outcome. Think of it like football, and think of the whole process like Super Bowl Sunday. You are on the field and playing until you reach where you want to go, or victory. So how strange would it be if football players were sitting on the 50-yard line watching television during a field goal attempt, or staring at Pornhub with the pigskin floating overhead? Look at it like that. The game won't go on forever. The road to your destination isn't endless. So when you're in the game or on the road, don't seek balance or release, but rather stay where you are, focused entirely on arriving.